everyone. Welcome to the Mom's View. I'm excited to be
Guys,
here.
we look like fall today. Flannel,
Sweaters.
Mine is really shitty.
Yeah.
You know how that's how fall
pretty.
sweaters
It
go
looks
though.
so
Right?
comfy.
Sweater is so shitty.
Kind of sounds like you're saying shitty.
I know, that's why I said it.
Funny. You know.
I don't swear, guys.
Glenn never swears. It just always
when the
sounds
camera's
like
off.
it.
It always sounds like it. I know I'm the worst. It makes me laugh though. I'm like, oh yeah, that really did sound like I
sound
said
like
that. Well,
But she didn't.
no.
I'm excited for fall. Also, like a little bit sad. I don't know why. I don't love summer and I don't love being hot. But we had a really cold day and I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready for the cold,
Yeah.
you know? Because it will be winter soon. And then that cold that just like goes to your bones. I was thinking about that when I was getting groceries.
Pumping gas, putting groceries in your car, and you're like, oh, it's so cold.
Yeah.
At least we'll like have little heaters this year.
Yeah, I
That
know.
does
So
help.
warm. Like,
Warm us
That's
up.
exciting.
Yeah.
I know. I think the key is to always be prepared. Like, I
that a
never
Boy
used
Scouts
to
motto?
wear Boy Scout.
Is it?
I don't. Yes.
Or I thought it was like,
should
leave
know
it
that.
better than you found it. I don't know.
There's a lot of
Boy Scout.
different mottos. They have a lot of different sayings. But I used to never wear. Is that a right term? I used to never.
I used to never,
I'm
never
such a
ever.
hillbilly. Okay.
It makes sense to me.
Like in high school and stuff, I wouldn't wear like really warm stuff because I thought it was like, oh, it's gonna ruin my hair if I wear a beanie or you know, like just
Yeah.
dumb stuff. But now I'm just like load it on beanies, scarves, gloves. Like if I'm always going out with all the stuff on, then I'm fine.
Yeah, because you can always take it off. But if you don't have it in the car,
Then you
freezing. It's
regret
going to
it.
be so cold.
My husband never wears a coat, so I have to always pack two around because then he'll be like, I'm cold. I'm like, you're in a t-shirt. We live in Idaho. Like, it's cold here.
It's time you learn.
Come here, big boy. I'll help you.
So funny. Also, I think it's always smart to leave a blanket in your car.
Yeah.
Because my kids will always get cold. Just bundle them up.
Yeah, if you're parked somewhere for a long time, you have to get in your car and wait for it to warm up.
Yes.
First world problems here, people.
But fall is so beautiful, and the leaves have changed, and now they're starting to fall off. Like, oh, it's been so pretty. I don't want it to go away.
It's flown by like, I feel like August drugged.
I know, I'm doing it too. I don't know.
I don't know what we're on today,
Drugged.
but it drugged on by. That there August did. And now September is just flown by. Like, whoa, slow down, September.
Oh my gosh. You're
Sorry, I
so-
don't know where that came from.
That was so fun. I think you should adopt
Oh, we
that.
should do the accent challenge, and it's like we have to do
really
the
should.
whole episode like that.
That was really good
hillbilly.
southern.
I can't do accents at all.
I bet
Do
you'd be
Southern.
great.
I
Do
really
Southern
can't.
Belle.
I can't.
I'm so excited.
You can't, honey, or you won't.
You won't. You just
I don't feel like
gotta
I'm
do it.
educated enough in different accents. If we do that,
Yes.
I'm going to have to practice.
I studied accent in college. That's why I'm so good at the hillbilly. Sorry.
That's
I
funny.
cannot focus. I think I need medicine.
I think that we all need a nap.
I think it's fun. They both have pregnancy brain over here, so
Oh man, mine is like in full swing. And I don't know if it's because like it's just really bad this time or it's because I'm so tired. Like I can't tell. I'm just really tired and nothing is making sense. Like I'll literally have a conversation with someone and I'm like, did any of that make sense to you?
Did I say any words? Did any words come out of my mouth? I threw away my
This is
cell
what I
phone.
meant.
was I talking?
Yeah.
Am I saying something? I threw away my cell phone in a garbage sack inside the garbage the other day. And I told Jackson, I was like, I literally have no idea where I put my cell phone. And he was like out in the garage in the car. We looked for like an hour and a half. And then he's like, I found it. It's in the garbage in a garbage sack.
Oh my
I
goodness.
was like, what was I thinking? I was like, I was sick of it. Just threw it away. Done with
Whatever,
this.
take it.
I'm done.
I'm done with this.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I hope that I can get it together.
Yeah, poor Colette.
I
Sorry
remember
to-
finding my keys in the fridge when I was pregnant.
I did that once with shrimp, but
Wait, what?
we had like friends over and they had shrimp, which I hate fish or
Yes.
shrimp. But it was like they were over, so we did shrimp cocktails for everyone. And then I was cleaning up after, and we had to go on a baseball road trip after. And I remember I put all the shrimp in this container, and I don't know what happened, but we got back. It was like 10 days, and we were living in Oklahoma, so it was hot and humid. We got back to our apartment, and we're like, what is that smell? Like the smell of
no.
cat food death. Like taking
Yeah.
over. I found the shrimp up in the plate cupboard. I like just stuck it up there thinking that's where it went, and it was just like, oh,
Ew.
That's awful.
it was a bad one.
That's so gross. Yes.
But things like that just make you love pregnancy. You're like, because
Why did I put it
you
in
think
the
the pregnant
cupboard?
women just use it as an excuse because they're pregnant, but then it happens and you're like, oh, this is a real thing. It's really happening.
And then it's like, is it because you're so tired?
I
Like,
don't
is that,
know. And
like,
I'm
you're
already
just like-
forgetful and airheaded, so it's like, this is not a great
Not a
combination.
good
Not all things going against us right now.
Oh man,
It's
tired.
entertaining though.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know it is fun to watch. It's frustrating to live, but it's fun to watch.
I know our last episode, I was just laughing. You
Thanks.
did say that. You're like, did any of that make sense?
Like, this is what I meant if I didn't say it the right way.
I think that's what I meant. Yeah. That's funny.
This is what I was
Thanks for hanging
trying
there, guys.
to say.
We love you.
Yeah. Does anyone have any updates? I'm just trying to work this phone. It's not mine.
Whose phone did you steal, Kaylee?
I'm gonna keep it though. Do you guys have any updates?
Not really. Not much since last time. Just
Life and loving
life
it and
and
fall
living.
and Braylee did have a birthday. She just turned 12.
Oh, that's a
I-
fun age.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I actually I've talked about it a lot. Like so nervous about her getting older and like going into junior high and like becoming a like teen. But I'm actually loving it so much.
Good.
Like, so
Yeah.
so much. It's been a lot of fun, and she's just fun. She's a good girl, and I'm glad that we're going through this together for the
Yeah.
first time. Like she's just a good little buddy to have, and our conversations are fun, and she's really really open and honest with me. And I just hope that I do everything the right way so that she'll feel like she always can be.
yeah.
Because
That's mom goals. If your kids are open with you.
right, it's really easy though. Like I've noticed, I mean, she's more emotional, and she's my child, and I'm emotional, so I understand. But if I say one little thing that she doesn't agree with, it's like, I wish I would have never told you that, and I'm not going to tell you
no.
anything again. And then later on, she'll calm down, and we'll talk about it. And
Yeah.
like, I didn't mean it this way, but I have an opinion too, and
Yeah.
I want the best for you. And but it's been fun. So she's 12. It's crazy. I don't know how I have a 12-year-old.
It's awesome.
But it's awesome.
Gosh,
yeah.
you're old. You
I
guys are
can't
old.
believe Gavin will officially be a teenager
I know, right?
in a
December.
couple months.
Amiga
Yep.
will be
And
1
teen.
and Gavin will be 13.
Yeah. And now, you know, we've the whole time we're like, you can start your own YouTube channel when you're 13. Terms of service, terms of service. And now he's like, Mom, like,
Can't hold it
what
against him
did we
anymore.
so I don't know how. Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I think he wants to. He wants to start doing some singing and.
He's so good. I
Yeah.
love listening to him sing.
I
He's
love-
so good.
I mean, I'm excited for him. I mean, a part of me feels scared because I'm
Yeah.
like,
You know
we
what's out
got
there.
eaten alive when we had like first started our YouTube channel, and we were adults,
Right.
and we were confident, and you know, it's like starting as a child. It just makes me feel like, but I
Yeah.
mean, he's been in this world for 9 years, so
Will you discourage him from like reading comments or?
I don't think I will, just because I want him to know what he's getting into.
Yeah.
You know, like this is, if you're going to put this out there, you have to know this is what people will say about you. And, you know, like these are the things people will post about you. Like people will make up stuff. Like you have to know everything that will happen
Yeah.
and be okay with it.
It's so crappy. It's like, I know it's such a stupid drum to beat, but it's like, why do people have to be like that?
I know.
It's so weird to me because I would never, somebody I don't like or I think is annoying or whatever I think about them, I'd never take the time to go and tell them that, you know?
Yeah.
Such a thing. We don't talk about it, but it just always like baffles me that people are so rude.
I know.
Yeah.
I feel
Or
like
weird.
with my kids, if when they start, I would just want to disable all the comments. Like, don't hurt my child.
Yeah.
But
Don't, yeah.
it's true. That's a very good point. Like, they have to know, like,
What they're getting
this is what
themselves
they're
into.
getting into, and they need to be prepared and ready for that.
Yeah. Like, I mean, same thing with like making your own videos, editing. Like I want you to know, like, this is hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not handed to you. Like you have to really work at it.
Which I think can be good because I think sometimes they think, well, just put a video up. Like they don't know what goes into it. So it might be a great tool. And I feel like can set them off in such a great career path, you know, even if they maybe don't have a YouTube channel in the future, maybe it's marketing or editing or whatever, you know,
Yeah.
it's such a great
Plus,
world.
like, they're just so different. I feel like young kids are like almost made in a different way that they can
Yeah.
pick up technology so quickly
Yes.
and learn. Casey told Braylee she wanted to start a YouTube channel a couple of years ago, and he said, if you can figure out how to film and edit your own videos, you can. Because he was just like, it's not that easy.
Yes.
Like, try to figure it out. She did. She figured it
like,
out. What
done
did
and
she
done.
have? She had like an old something, and she
Like
figured
computer.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
she
remember
figured
that.
out how to edit on it. And I was
No
like, you can
way.
edit on that? And she figured it out. And then we were like, just kidding. You have to be way older.
Well, wait
But it
for a
was
minute.
We take that back.
Well, if you can edit. And she was like, I edited this.
It's like, okay.
Good job, Bray Bray.
But I
I'll
just
find a
feel
way.
like they're just so smart now.
Yeah.
Like, even I remember Brock when he was one using an iPad, and I was like, what?
I think what's so weird for them is like, for them, it's just normal. It's like second nature. But for us, when all this technology came out, it was like a whole new world.
Yeah.
But for them, it is their world.
I feel like by the time they're in school, and I can almost put money on this, like they won't have textbooks. So everything will be through a like iPad or a computer or
tablet.
whatever. Yeah, something. And that's weird to think about. So
Right.
futuristic.
Which is hard because you want your kids to have access to the computer, but limited. But if they're doing everything on a computer or on an iPad, then they're going to be on it so much. Like that will
Right.
be everything, which
Right.
is kind of scary to me. Like,
I know.
well, one thing, it's bad for your eyes.
Yeah.
Gives you headaches.
Gives you headaches.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Anyways, kids. I'm going to tell you guys a little article about kids.
More about children.
So this is actually a short little paragraph from a blog that was written about an article that this blogger read. And it says, more and more places have decided they don't want to have children as customers. This applies to restaurants, airlines, stores, movie theaters. Many parents are outraged. They blame intolerant, childless people. They blame society as a whole, who they say no longer value children. They don't understand how other people would not find their children as precious as they do. So that's pretty crazy that there are actually places that are banning children. They don't want children in their stores. What do you guys think?
I could go 100 ways with this.
I know, right? Like, the mama bear in me is like, what? And then,
Yeah.
like, I can see where people would be, like, outraged and feel like, almost like they're being, like, there's segregation for families or something, you know? Like, you have a family, you're not good enough to be in this restaurant.
Right.
You know, I do kind of see it that way, but also, being a mom with a lot of children, I can also see how, you know, maybe it's a little, that's not the environment you want in your establishment. So I kind of, I don't know, like, airlines, that one's a little bit like, well, which
Yeah.
airlines? Like, can no parents fly anymore? Like, there has to be options. And I understand if, like, you have a certain business and you know, a certain way you want to run your business, a certain, what's the word I'm looking for? Atmosphere.
Right.
You want to create.
Yeah.
Like, I get that. Especially in bigger cities, there are a lot of places that kids don't go.
Yeah.
You know?
I remember when we first moved to LA, I felt like the oddball out when we'd go to dinner, and it was like, you were the only one. We were the only ones with kids. I mean, granted, we have a lot of kids between all of us. Remember, we'd all go to dinner, and people would just stare at us like,
Yeah, we would walk in and
they
they
were
were
like
like,
an anomaly. They were just like, what is that? Like, it's like a zoo almost. Or like, look at that rare child over there eating his steak.
So
like,
true.
whoa. But I feel that way with dogs. Like, people are taking their dogs more, and I'm a dog lover through and through, love my animals, but like, I see people taking dogs to restaurants now, and they can sit under the table. It's like, dogs poop on the floor and pee on the floor. Kids at least poop in their diaper. Like, or to grocery stores or things that's like, dogs are a little dirtier than children. So I kind of feel like when I first heard that, I'm like, that's just so funny to me, because then you'll see in airlines people have their dogs on their lap. What if you're allergic to a dog? Nobody's allergic to a baby.
right.
Like, yeah, they're annoying, they cry, but I don't know how I just got onto dogs. Yeah. Maybe because people treat them like babies.
They
Like,
do.
I do feel like there are appropriate times when you should and shouldn't bring out your children. I feel like late night dinners, like, yeah, sometimes you're in a crunch or whatever, you need to go to dinner. But there's like those date nights where, you know, they want that special romantic
want that
atmosphere. And if you have a child screaming and throwing their silverware, then I can understand that's like, you know, or like weddings or funerals. Like, I just think there's certain etiquette types of things that you have to know as parents, like what's kosher to take your kids to and not. At first I wanted to get offended, and I was like, I totally get it because I have a kid. Like, get it.
I know, that's how I felt. I didn't get offended by this at all. I'm like, I get it. Like, my kids leave huge messes. Winston's usually screaming about something, like at a movie theater, at a restaurant, on an airplane. And the airline is really weird. I agree. Like, that's
Yeah,
really
that
weird.
one
But I
is-
also, like, understand that too. Winston has been screaming through an entire flight before.
Yeah.
So I understand that there are people who don't like kids.
Yeah.
Like, there really, really are.
Or they just feel
And,
uncomfortable.
Yeah, they
they
feel
don't
uncomfortable,
understand.
and it's just annoying to them. So I understand. And also, like, there are times that I go out, or when we've gone out on a date night, and I just need a break from kids, and I might choose one of those places to go to,
Yeah.
where I know, like, No kids will be there. I won't feel guilty when I hear a baby cry because I'll be like, oh, I miss Winston.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
I'll just be able to focus on Casey. So I can understand, where these businesses are coming from.
Yeah.
But most likely I wouldn't go to any of those places because I usually have my kids.
Yeah.
Right.
But I
Also, like, when it comes to movie theaters, like, if you're going to see Elsa, there's going to be kids there,
Yeah.
if you're going to see, like, The World is Ending, Zombie 3 Nation, I don't know, I'm making that up, like, you probably won't see babies in that movie, you know?
Right.
But sometimes you do, and so maybe
Yeah,
that's a good
so maybe
thing
it's like,
to,
oh, should you bring your baby to this type of a movie? Or it's really loud and violent, like...
Right. There was that movie theater that was close by my house in California.
Oh, yeah.
And they didn't allow kids.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because there were the
it the
nicer
dine-in?
seats,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a dine-in movie theater. And I did always think that would be nice to go to that when I don't have my kids with me.
So they had those
I
really
don't
nice
know.
red leather chairs, and she's like, kids are hard on things.
Yeah. And they do make big messes.
Yeah.
Like, I will be down on the floor, like, picking up my child's mess when we leave a restaurant.
Yeah.
I'm like, kids are messy. But I can also understand why people are mad because, you
Yeah.
know, our kids are our greatest treasures and we think that they're perfect, and even when they are making messes they're just so cute, and a lot of us don't have the option, like we don't have babysitters all the
Right.
time, and so we do take our kids with us, or a lot of working parents want to take their kids and go and do something that's fun and maybe go to a fancy restaurant and
Right.
feel like they're really treating themselves and their family. So I can see both sides, but
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it depends too on your demographic. Like
Yeah.
in a place like where we live, it would probably kill your business.
Yeah,
Right, it
Because
would.
there's just so many families, and
Yeah.
so it would probably be harmful. But I also feel like there's something that kind of irks me about parents that are a little indignant about it too, because it's like, well, do you just think your kid's so perfect, like that
Right.
it wouldn't cause any problems? Yeah, I don't know. Like, it just kind of makes me feel like have a little bit of understanding for other people's feelings too, because there are some
Right.
parents that's like they don't care what their kids do, and they just like think that everybody should be okay with certain things that
Right.
maybe, like, if it were my child, I'd be like, okay, there's a way to handle this situation a little bit differently than just letting them run amok in the store or something, you know?
Yeah.
yeah.
But then I have also been that parent where I've lost control and I don't know, you know, it's like I'm embarrassed
Yeah.
to be in this public situations, but it's like,
But then it's also hard to react in that public situation
Yes.
because you can't, like, not like you beat your children, but there's a way you can talk to your kids where they know you're serious. And sometimes in
Yes.
public, you're like, I don't want to use my stern voice right now.
Well, and sometimes in public they're like, there's nothing you can do. Yeah, I don't care what voice you use.
But then I also feel like, you know, those parents who don't give a crap how their kids act and they let them act crazy. And when you see kids like that and parents acting like that, you're like, this is why stores have those kind of policies,
Right.
because there are those parents who let their kids run around and pull anything off the shelves and they don't teach them manners. And I mean, at the end of the day, kids are kids. They, you know, they're going to be wild. But I have seen those moms where I'm like, I'm not judging you right now, but if my child were acting like that, I would handle it a lot differently.
but it
Like,
totally depends on the parent too, because sometimes you can sense the parents are doing it because they can, you know?
right. Like they just
Like,
empower
I
them.
have a right to be here with my children, and so
Oh, yeah.
you know, that kind of attitude. But I've also seen it where it's like, yeah, your child's going crazy, but I can see that you're super stressed out, and I totally have been there.
I know, you want to just
totally-
be like, it's okay.
This
Yeah.
totally reminds me of, we were having a lunch meeting outside of Starbucks, me and my friend Margot, and there were like a group of 4 boys, like probably like between the ages of 9 and 11, that age where they're like kind of a little bit rowdy and rambunctious, but they were being really loud, like yelling to the point where I was even turning around like, what are they yelling about? You know, like I wasn't going to say anything, but they were being really loud. And this woman was sitting in the Starbucks outside. She was reading her book, and she went over and she said, you know, you guys are kind of being kind of loud. Can you keep it down just a little bit? Some people are here studying and reading, like, can you guys just keep it down? And the mom, out of nowhere, I don't even know where the mom came from, like popped up and was like, this isn't a library. They can be as loud as they want. We're all sitting outside. And I was just like, oh my gosh, Jerry Springer. Like, which I was just like, it's such an interesting situation because we are all outside on a patio. This is just a Starbucks. It's not, you know, somewhere fancy. But as a mom, I would have been, you know, hey, boys, kind of keep it down or go over there and play on the grass. Like, ask them to be a bit more respectful, because I think there's a level of respect that kids need to understand, especially at that age.
Yes.
But I also hate those parents where they feel like their kids are always the victims and they never show them opportunities of learning. Like, okay, maybe you weren't being very loud, but you know what? This woman asked you to quiet down. Like, let's respect her and, you know, kind of play middle middleman here where you're not being so loud and you don't have to totally listen to her, but like just chill out a bit.
Yeah.
I was just really, really like when that mom was like, "This isn't a library." I was like, "Oh, hers is mad. She's really mad." I'm just like, so glad that's not my kid right now.
I know. It's so hard dealing with all that. I feel like the key is just like, let's stop judging each other. Like, we all have different lives, different families, and like, yeah, like you said, like, be respectful.
Right. And it's not like the woman that, like, she wasn't like, "Shut up, you guys are loud." Hey, can you guys just quiet down a little bit, please? Like, I think if an adult was being too loud, another adult would say that to them, you know? I don't think she even said anything that was rude. And then that mom just, like, flew off the handle. I was like,
and I think that's totally, because, like, we had an instance one time when we were on an airplane, and, like, that's why I get the airplane thing, too. I know. It's like, Brock was in his car seat, and he kept pushing on the back of her seat, and I didn't notice. But he was pushing on the back of this lady's seat, and she turned around, and she goes, "Is he going to do that the whole time?" And I was just like, I think Shay was there, and he was just, like, he said something witty and funny, but at the same time, he was like, "Stop kicking the back of her seat." But I think it was because, like, she came out with an attitude. It just made him, like, "Oh, really?"
Yeah.
Get an attitude. And I was kind of proud of him, but at the same time, I was proud of him. And I think that we both felt like, yeah, she was really rude. Yeah, had she turned around and been like, "You know what? He's kicking on the back of my seat. It's really bothering me." Like,
yeah,
it would have been totally different.
Yeah, 100%.
So I feel like it's like the way we interact.
Yeah.
The way we
what happened with
communicate
manners,
means so much.
right?
Yes. And how we don't communicate also means a lot. Like the way
Yes.
people will just look at you and not say anything. It's like, just say what you want to say and just stop staring because that's just as rude. Because then you have to
A
assume.
lady did that to me with Winston. He was screaming, and a lady just kept looking back at me and giving me dirty looks.
That's like,
The whole time, and I was like doing everying I could possibly do.
like, "Hey, Gretchen Wieners, we get it with the looks."
I was just like hoping that she got diarrhea on her next flight. Like, I hope you get diarrhea
That's the worst wish to wish on your enemy, getting diarrhea on
on an airplane.
Like,
Oh, I
I
gotta go. Long flight.
I love you.
But yeah, when people just sit and give you dirty looks, it's like, just say it and get it over with, and I'll tell you that I'm trying my hardest.
Yeah, or just skank the floor. You don't gotta give me that look. You know, like what's the point?
I know my child's screaming. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to keep looking back and rolling your eyes at
I
me.
think a lot of people who travel forget that, like, as a mom, you feel that pressure more than anybody else does. Like, as soon as your kid makes a noise, you're like, like, it instantly raises your blood level because you don't want to be the mom with the baby on the plane that's screaming, and you're just like, "Oh, shh," and you'll do anything to calm them down. But traveling's frustrating for adults. Can you imagine how it is for kids?
I
And you have
know.
to sit in a seat and they can't move the whole time.
Oh man, just making me grateful that we don't travel as much anymore. It was starting to get so hard. Like
I
traveling
remember
with the
watching
baby
you
is
two,
one
and I was
thing,
like,
but
I should
toddler?
just be juggling balls right now. Well, it's
it's
a
like
lot.
You think you have it down, like, okay, we have this routine, everything is going smooth, and then they learn how to do other things, and then they learn to walk, and then they don't want to sit, and they don't want to just be okay looking out the window.
That's the hard age when it's like they want to just get up and run around.
Yeah. Oh man.
Just let them, you know? Give them the barf bag and let them run around the plane. Whatever.
Just have compassion for each other. Let's just work together. We're all in this world together.
Yeah.
Didn't everybody have to take that home ec class where you take home that fake baby that
Yes.
cries? People should have to do that in real life situations, like going to a movie, going to a theater, going to dinner, or taking a baby on the plane. Then everyone would have a little more empathy. I think that's the word.
Yes.
Empathetic for others.
Very true. Let us know what you think about this topic. I think
Instead of
it's
snakes on a plane, it's kids on a plane.
well, and I always think it's interesting because we are all kind of in the same place where we think like we've been on both sides and we know, but it's always interesting to read your comments. Those of you who don't have children, those of you who maybe this did offend, which if it did offend you, that's fine. Like I just think it's always interesting to read your comments and see your thoughts and feelings about the topics that we talk about.
Yes.
And as always, like, share, subscribe. We love you so much. Thanks for watching. Bye.